So, a single boob led to the creation of the biggest video-sharing website in the world. Let me explain. So, the story starts with this woman, Janet Jackson. And Janet Jackson is 37 during this time, and she's been a huge pop star for as long as anyone can remember. But one day in 2003, her whole life changes. That's when some execs from the NFL entertainment team reach out to her and offer her the gig of headlining the Super Bowl 38 halftime show. And this is a huge deal for any musician. Now, other famous artists are also going to make appearances during the performance. That's pretty common for the Super Bowl halftime show. They usually bring out a bunch of guest artists. One of those guest artists is this guy, Justin Timberlake. And Janet, of course, wants this show to be remembered forever. She wants it to be the best halftime show of all time. However, as they're doing rehearsals for the show, she feels like the final moment of the performance still needs something extra. Something a little controversial. Something that'll get people talking. And eventually, she and her stylist come up with a costume stunt for the end of the show. Their plan is that during the final performance, right as the last song ends, Justin Timberlake is going to rip away part of the chest section of her costume to reveal a red bra underneath. Oh yeah, it's supposed to be scandalous. Now, they don't run this idea past CBS, which is the network airing the Super Bowl. They also don't run it past any of the other event producers because, they probably would have vetoed it immediately and told them no. In fact, this idea comes together so last minute that Janet doesn't even really get a chance to properly talk to Justin about it until the actual day of the show. And even then, they barely have time to rehearse it. What could possibly go wrong? And so, fast forward to February 1st, 2004. The day of the Super Bowl. The game starts as scheduled, and about an hour and a half later, it's halftime. And bam, Janet's performance starts. She's out there singing, dancing, and absolutely killing it. Everything is going great. And honestly, all of Janet's hard work is paying off because she is crushing this performance. Then after about 10 minutes, Justin Timberlake comes out, and they start performing together. And they are performing their asses off in front of this massive stadium, and around 90 million people watching at home on live TV. And right as the final song ends, Justin follows the plan. Boom. He rips off part of her costume. But instead of revealing the red bra that was supposed to be underneath, he accidentally exposes Janet's boob live on television to the 90 million people watching at home. Now, the broadcast cuts away almost immediately, but the damage is already done. The world done saw the boob. And everybody involved with the show instantly knows this is a complete disaster. You can even see in pictures from the moment, right after it happens, that Janet looks completely shocked while covering herself up. And Justin, well, he just kind of looks like Justin. Now, unfortunately, even though the cameras cut away quickly, it doesn't matter anymore because the moment is already burned into everybody's brain. And almost immediately, the backlash begins. MTV has to put out a public apology. CBS puts out a public apology. And eventually Janet Jackson herself has to release an apology video talking about the incident. At this point, this becomes one of the biggest stories of 2004. Reporters everywhere are going crazy trying to figure out whether this was an accident or if the whole thing was planned from the beginning. Every news station is covering it nonstop from every possible angle. People are analyzing the footage frame by frame. And the country is so unbelievably prude during this time that people are absolutely losing their minds over the fact that they accidentally saw a woman exposed on TV during the Super Bowl. Soccer moms everywhere are clutching their pearls like, oh my heavens! And because of all this outrage, the FCC receives around 540,000 complaints about indecency, which is insane because, according to them, they normally only receive a few thousand complaints over an entire year. But after this, 540,000. So naturally, the FCC launches a full investigation into the incident. CBS gets fined for allowing it to happen. And eventually, the truth comes out. Justin Timberlake was only supposed to rip away the top layer of the costume to reveal the red bra underneath. But somehow they messed it up and exposed the whole boob instead. So technically, it was mostly Justin's screw-up. But despite that, everybody seems determined to blame Janet. And honestly, her career takes the biggest hit from the whole situation. Viacom, which owns MTV and a bunch of radio stations, starts blacklisting Janet's singles and music videos. Meanwhile, Justin Timberlake's career pretty much continues without much damage at all. Because, it's 2004, and sexism is definitely still doing its thing. Now, after all this happens, the head of CBS demands that Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake both give on-air apologies at the Grammys the following week. He basically tells them that if they don't apologize live during the broadcast, they won't be allowed to attend. Justin agrees. He goes to the Grammys, gets on stage, and apologizes. But Janet Jackson? Nah, she's not doing that. And because of that, they uninvite her from the Grammys entirely, even though she was originally supposed to present an award that night. So yeah, Janet's career takes a massive hit from this incident, while Justin Timberlake mostly walks away fine. Now during this time, something else starts happening online. Anybody who didn't watch the Super Bowl live suddenly feels like they missed out on this massive shared cultural moment. So millions of people start searching the internet, trying to find footage of the incident anywhere they possibly can. And when I say people are searching for this clip nonstop, I mean nonstop. In fact, the name Janet Jackson becomes not only one of the most searched terms in internet history at the time, but also one of the most searched images in internet history. People want to see footage of this moment so badly that it becomes one of the most replayed, recorded, and searched for moments online. Everybody is desperately trying to find video clips of it. But there's one problem. At the time, video sharing on the internet absolutely sucked. There really wasn't a good place online where people could easily upload, watch, and share video clips. And that is where this guy comes in. His name is Jawed, and Jawed is around 24 years old during this time. He's an engineer working at PayPal, and like basically everyone else on the internet, bro really wants to see this boob too. So, just like everybody else, he searches online everywhere trying to find footage of the incident. And he can't find it. Anywhere. And eventually, he gets so frustrated that he starts complaining about it to some of his co-workers. He's basically like, why is it so hard to find a clip of this online? And eventually, the three of them start talking about how the internet really needs a website specifically built for sharing videos. A website where anybody could upload clips, watch videos easily, and share them with other people. And then they realize something. Nobody's built that yet. So they decide they're going to do it themselves. And over the next year, they start coding and designing their own video sharing website. And eventually, in 2005, they finally launch it to the public. And the very first video ever uploaded to the platform is called Me at the Zoo, which is literally just footage of Jawed hanging out at the zoo talking in front of some elephants. That's it. That's the first video. And about 6 months after that, the website that you and I now know as YouTube really starts taking shape. More and more people begin uploading all kinds of random videos. Funny clips, home videos, music, vlogs, everything. And pretty quickly, the platform absolutely explodes in popularity, to the point where around 65,000 new videos are being uploaded every single day, which at the time is a huge deal. And the growth is so insane that in 2006, Google buys the company for over $1.5 billion, which is an unbelievable amount of money, considering the entire idea partially started because one man couldn't find footage of a boob online. And honestly, that's kind of beautiful in a weird way. Anyway, then in 2007, another huge, culture-defining, mega-fantastic historical moment happens. I start uploading my first videos, which now I guess you'd probably call vlogs. And honestly, that was also pretty huge. You know what I'm saying? Everybody should celebrate.